What's up guys, Phil here from PRC Taping. Today I want to talk a little bit about how I coat the inside of my pillars without dropping any mud. And yeah, so the knife I use is my 10-inch Richards knife, and I got this knife 18 years ago. This thing is old, and I only use this for tight skim because at this point it can't fill anymore, but it does a really nice job doing a tight skim, and that's all I'm doing here. And the mud consistency, I have about 2 sponges of water per bucket, as you can see here. It's pretty thin, so I'm not gonna fill my hawk too much with mud. I like to just keep maybe, 2 scoops like that, 2 scoops on there. And basically I like to keep it in the top and in the middle. And you'll see me sometimes give it a shake. And that's just to drop it more towards the center of the hawk. And I'm always kind of playing with it. You can see in some of my videos, I'm kind of moving it around, keeping it at the top, because the reason for that is when I grab it with my knife, I like to keep it in the ball and the center of my knife. And I kind of like to keep it at the top as I'm doing that. So once the mud kind of spreads out, I like to grab it, clean it up, and bring it back up at the top. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start at the top, work my way down, and then come up, and I'm likely gonna end here, but again, I'm doing a tight skim on these. So I'm gonna get started. Grab my little bench here. Now, like I said, I'm just gonna get started. I'm gonna fill the middle of my knife, work my way down, and as I'm ending my motion, I'm gonna move towards the outside. Both sides like that. When you're working with mud like this and pillars and beads, you wanna make sure you're doing that, because if you just go straight down with the mud, the likelihood of it falling out the sides is pretty high. So I'm just gonna stick with that technique. I'm just gonna get started. I'm gonna try and do this as slow as I can. Yeah, here we go. Again, grabbing it and pulling it over towards the edge is the trick. And you can see just having just enough. Now, I'm gonna stop right there, and I am going to do a nice tight skim now. And I want little to no lap marks on this at all. I'm doing a tight skim, so you're likely not gonna have any. So I'm just gonna do a really, really tight skim. I'm gonna go here up and then work my way down, just to pull that mud off now, because I'm basically just filling any imperfections at this point. The pillar is already full. So now I'm gonna do one last motion, come down, and that's it. Clean the edges, and that is done. Little spot right here. And that is nice and full, tight skim, 0 imperfections. Move this aside. Now I'm gonna work towards the bottom. So you could see I went down and over. Now I'm gonna come up and over. So my hawk is basically already ready to go. I'm gonna grab it like I normally do, just like that, and then work my way up and over in those simple motions. Sometimes I come this way and go down. I got the stairs in the way here, so this will be a perfect opportunity to show you how to work around that. So you could either just go like this and fill it, but I like to get creative and just pull it on the edge of my knife here and just give that a little fill. That's it, it's nice and full. I'm gonna just drag some of the mud off now before I do a tight skim. And that's just to ensure there's no like chunks or anything in your mud. As I say that, there's a little something from the pail. Now I'm gonna do a tight skim all the way up. And we are done. Clean your edges. I don't like to put that mud back in with my mud, and clean this edge. Now I do still need to skim this side, but that is basically it. If there's any other spots, now your lap mark is right here. It is very tight skim, so it's very small, and that's basically it. Hope that helps. I have a little bit of mud left on here. I'm gonna keep skimming beads. Hope you guys have a great one.